What's up, guys? This is a red comet. This is the single biggest box I've ever had for a Gunpla. And this is not actually Master Grade Monday because now it's Tuesday. But let's get into it anyways. Alright, guys. So, yeah. Clearly, this is an enormous Master Grade box. This is by far, at least out of my collection, the single largest one. In fact, in my pile of boxes, it tends to be on the bottom. Because even the unicorn, the HD unicorn with the MS cage and the full burst Strike Freedom boxes they might be longer, but this one is bigger. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting to try to do this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because you guys know I'm a UC noob. I just thought about the fact this thing is called Sazabi. Does that have anything to do with the Zabi family? Just wondering. I honestly don't know. I could be stupid. I don't look things up. Why research? That's what you guys are for, to tell me when I'm right and wrong. Okay, so you get great Verka imaging here. Katoki makes some good box art. You got Sazabi here, pretty much in its full burst mode, or whatever you want to call it, activated mode. So all the armor bits are all split off. Over here you have it in normal mode. I don't know why they show it that way, but it is what it is. And right here you have glare from my light. So yay. You got Constructor, Anaheim Electronics, because they made everybody's stuff at that point, I guess. Make the Unicorn, they make the Nu, they make the High Nu, they make this thing, the Sinanju as well. So, Char, Azanaru, Mobile, Suit 4, New Type, UC093, Neo, Zio, yay. Bandai 2013, way down there. MG, Verka. And there's still some stuff in there. So over here you get list of weapons and cool stuff. Gun, Darium Alloy, Diffuse Mega Particle Cannon. That's the high mega or whatever in its chest. You got a beam shot rifle, which I believe is that guy. Beam Tomahawk, that's somewhere in there. Beam Saber, yep. Shield missiles, yep. 6 funnels, yep. Long rifle. Oh, okay, so that's the one rifle. That's the beam rifle. Got it. That looks more like a shotgun to me. So, rifle, funnels, shield, beamy thingies, beam saber. I gotta run out of room over here. I'm gonna knock stuff over. So here you've got obligatory front and rear shot, and here you have all the little details. The head opens up for some reason. Armor opens up. Hands move. Beam saber is hidden. You got an engine block splitting there. Actually, honestly, that's what the funnel container looks like. It looks like part of a V6. That's funny. Now, I will say, you guys, you know me. We didn't really get water slide done on this guy, but someday I probably will to complete the look. Here you have all the descripting of stuff in Japanese. I think that's showing off. It's got some cool silver framework, which it does. Here he is carrying his gun, because it's about the only way you can hold it. And I will say I did a lot of paintwork on this. And you've got some more. Got, once again, running out of room. Front and rear. And over here you've got obligatory warnings. And Katoki did the CG works. 9,000 yen. A very expensive kit. I think I paid around about 90 or 100 for this. It is ridiculous. And oh my god, it's so big. And it's upside down. As well it should be. Some of these are hard. That's what she said. Alright, so let's go ahead. No! Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling, guys. Ugh. Okay. So here we have a headless Sazabi. And if you're wondering why he's headless, it's because I wanted to show off one of his gimmicks right off the bat. So, boom. Now we have his head. So, one thing that's pretty cool about this, just like its High Nu rival, it does in fact take an LED. And it plugs in right here. And just like its rival, the High Nu, the LED is dead. But it does shine through a clear tube in the neck up through here and will actually light either, if I hadn't painted that green, it would have lit through there, but it also will light up the mono eye right inside there. Now, one thing I can't figure out, because it doesn't work exactly right on mine that I can tell. Maybe it's supposed to do that, and I don't understand how the head was supposed to open, but that's what it does, you know, just like that. So I'm not entirely certain. Sometimes these kits, they get the best of me. I don't understand. So tuck that in there. Now I had a fit with this guy. I built this thing a couple years ago, guys, and at the time it was only the second biggest Gundam I'd ever built. The other one being the full armor Verka. Now, there's a couple things I've done with this, and you will see spots like this right here. This is where I use red paint to try to clear up nubs, and you can see that it's going to be like a lightish pink. I was actually using the Char red and the Char pink to try to actually do things on here, and you'll see that like even though this hose does come in a nice silver, I went ahead and hit it with another silver. Tried to panel line in between, and even gave this gray bit right here a little bit of a silver wash. You can see it right through there. But also back here, like on the back of the helmet, the red Darth Vader kind of helmet, added some different red paint right there. You'll see that throughout this guy. Little red details here and there that I've added. And same thing with gold and some silver. Now I'm going to go ahead and put his head back on. So you come back here, you got a really big opening here. You got a couple spots right there that it pivots on, but you've got to get it lined up. So you just sort of insert and then drop it down. You can see right back here, we've got a couple clips and a couple nubs, and that is for the backpack. So before we get too much further right here, I'm going to go ahead and just show off all the detail I did on the inside of the backpack before I realized that was the inside of the backpack. So you got some silver and some dark gray, all nicely detailed right in there, just in time to be slapped right on here. Alright. Now, I will say, because this is one of the biggest and one of the heaviest master grades there are, he's incredibly finicky. You will probably see it throughout the review, his leg just slowly sliding apart. And it's not that, you know, he's had too many tequilas, it's that the hips are just that kind of loose. I believe they're actually in rubber polycaps. So, other than that, this thing has presence, guys. This thing is enormous. Here, let me set him back here. Just for a quick comparison, there he is with the new Megazord. The Megazord is just barely taller than Sazabi. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely insane. Not to mention the Megazord is actually heavier. Now, one thing I wish this guy had was some kind of ratcheting, or at least better supported hips and knees. Now we'll go through it and you'll see that there's a lot of amazing detail that Kotoki did on this. But, you know, it's going to have its flaws, and part of it comes within the kind of transformation gimmicks. And maybe it's that it's been sitting too long, something like that. I'm not sure. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try to show off details as best I can. One, the camera is a little bit low. You know what? I have the problems with master grades, guys. Not enough height, usually. So we'll see what we can do about that. But let's look at some closer up detail. Okay, so this thing is really, really awesome. Now, one cool thing about this kit, there are spots in here you'll see that there are different levels of reds. And some of them are, in fact, stickers that you add on, like right through here. It's actually, it almost feels felt-like. It's got a very interesting kind of light texture to it, but you get them in spots like this, right here on the chest, down here on the side skirts. I think, I could be wrong. Judging by the paint on there, I'm probably wrong. There's a few places on here that it does that, but you'll also see that I've painted quite a lot with just some good Gundam marker. Once again, this is early days. I would do things slightly different now. So like here, that got some red paint. Same thing, all of these spots up here on the shoulders, and once again you can see some swirliness right there where I'm trying to cover up nubs. Right here you get some silver with those little thingies sticking out. Same thing right here for these little vents underneath. And I can't recall if the centers of those were silver already or not. Come on, turn big boy. And one thing this thing is amazing on is color separation, very much like the Nu Gundam has. So you get multiple kinds of reds, which is one reason why I painted this a different red, I think. So it's going to be a little hard to see, but this is a slightly different shade of red than this. And then the under edge here, get some panel lining, you got silver paint here. The legs, if I can find the pictures of the details I did on the legs, I will include it right here, so you can actually see what I did to paint the inside, because you've got some gold, you've got silver everywhere in here for pistons and all kinds of stuff. So underneath these layers and layers of armor, I did a lot of paint work. You can see I was experimenting with some gold panel lining right through there. I didn't do it everywhere. I think I only did it on this one leg cover. And once again, you get some paint that I did here. Same thing here, just some char pink. All details, silver paint, gold paint. Come back here, and as we go along and I start opening up panels, you will see more details. So you get all these little bitty, what I believe are little maneuvering thrusters. You get some gold paint all over those. Now these things, the booster tanks back here, let's see, this is one problem, it gets very wonky. You can see really crappy paint. So what happened here, these things had terrible nubs in the worst possible place. Usually for big cylindrical things, they do them in halves and you end up with ugly nubs. So my solution was to try to paint them with my black marker. This one came out okay. I tried sanding it after the fact, and so it doesn't look too terrible. This one, not so much. So what I would probably do nowadays is strip these down, sand them really, decently, and then hit them with some good black paint that I've got. And you can see right back here, you've got some thrusters and some nice gold and silver paint. We'll see a lot more inside that. You got silver and some black there for these little bitty thrusters here. The engineering that goes into this kit is incredibly impressive. I truly believe this is one of the best master grades for engineering alone. All the other issues it has, that makes it one of the more difficult master grades. I will say that for sure. And so you'll always find it's either leaning forward or leaning back, and the legs are always just doing whatever they want. Now, one of the worst things I hate about this kit are the hands, because I use those really good 3.0 hands, kind of. And I did a nice silver wash on there, so they look a little bit beat up, a little bit metallic. But the way this is designed, with this giant cuff here, it does not hold its weapons properly. At least not in a manner that one would tend to use. So I'll pose him real quick with the gun. So that is essentially how he can hold it. And that's going to be the same for either of his guns. And since we're talking about guns, let's go ahead and check out his giant accessories. Alright, so first and foremost, we have this gun, which I'm not going to take out of his hand. And I did a little bit of work. I added some silver there, some silver or gray details and down here, and then some gold lining there. I really, really dig this gun. I love the red coming across the top there. It just adds an awesome effect. So that's my favorite of the two rifles he has. Now, back him up just a little bit so I have some room to work. We have his other rifle, which I do not like what I did to this. I honestly don't. The silver I did up here with the gold, it really clashes badly. The black paint, actually the black paint came out better than anything. So if there's one thing I would love to redo, it's this. So I might actually strip this down and repaint it in a better manner. Looks like I even did some gray paint here. The gold in most places actually doesn't look too bad, like up here on the barrel and all those places. Even back here, the black doesn't look too bad on the pad. Sorry, there's a bug. And then silver. So it's not too bad. And it can do a thing where it docks with that SteelAngelJohn missile launcher. So you can, in fact, tab all that together and make it a big, awesome weapon if you really want to go there. But he's not going to hold it worth a damn, realistically. And he does have this cool handle right here that you can make him hold it with. I'm not going to demonstrate that. Just know that you can. But it's a pain. Oh, and one thing, no weapon storage on this guy, so don't even worry about it. Another thing he has, the single biggest thing he has, the giant dragon facey shield. Tell me that's not a dragon or a demon face. You got big yellow eyes here, and then big horns going on up there. This thing is imposing and crazy. The only thing I did was add some silver paint on the sides there. And yeah, this would look good with the big Xeon logo. Sorry, I'm knocking things around. And everything like that. It would be cool. Now, he does actually have weapons within the shield, because why wouldn't you have weapons in your shield? Come down here, and you got some nice little missile pods. Now, on top of that, you have a nice hidden B-Max weapon. Now, I'll show that off in a second. But you also get the ability to mount this on his arm. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and remove the B-Max. If I can. It came out real easy before. It seems like it's going to be a butt now. Come on. So, it's got a big slot on top of that big tab right there. So, we come to his forearm way over here. And you can tab it in somehow. Which way does it go? I'm looking at it, I don't even know. Because this looks like a little bitty clip, don't it? But there's nothing I can see that he clips that into. But this should, in theory, clip on right there. Maybe it goes like this. Because that looks like the way Sananju could hang the shield from like up there. Okay, let me bend the arm a little bit. Now I'm just going to demonstrate this for the time being, because that will be coming off at a later point. But I wanted to be able to show him off with his ginormous shield, like so. Just looking ever so imposing. And yeah, it's not going to be able to do much with this. It's just going to sit there like that. Or maybe turn the arm, bend the elbow a little bit. See, this is one of those cases where a little bit of rotation, like right here, would have been absolutely optimal, because you can't do much with this shield, because you can't make the elbow point in any meaningful direction. And here he goes, leaning back, legs straight out. And he suffers from heavy arm, or heavy shield syndrome. But let's talk B-Max. So it does mount under the shield, and you can totally do this while the shield is still attached. But you get ginormous green blades. Now these are the exact same ones you will get with Sananju, but those are yellow, these are green. And they do have little cutouts like so, and you've got the same corresponding thingies there. So once you line it up, you just tag it together like so. So that's pretty cool. You get the nice doubled thing there. And I believe he can actually hold this. If you use this big tab here, I believe he can actually hold it like so. You do actually have a slot right here in the front to house a normal beam saber blade. So he can, in fact, really, really mess you up if you want to do it that way. Oh, but we're not done. There's more options. Take these guys off. And you can add the short fans. And yeah, I'm calling it a fan. It's not so much of a blade. That's just a fan. Fan blade? Okay, fine. It's a fan blade, guys. Come on. They're kind of hard to pick up when they're laying flat on a table. So, like that. And I can't tell you what happened right here. I don't know if that's paint or scratches. I know I got some silver paint here, and I didn't paint the black. That was molded in black. But, so there we've got a nice fan sword stabby weapon. Oh, but we're not done. But yes, there's more. Because you can totally separate this guy. Ow. That was a little pokey. And you can have two B-Maxes. Yay for that. Oh, but wait, there's more! You can have some cool offset double-ended B-Maxery. So you can swing your axes to and fro and slice your enemy to pieces. You can do that. It's pretty neat. And if you need to, you can rotate these things at the base. And then, whoops, I may have done that backwards. Let's see what happens. I don't know, some got turned around. It doesn't matter. Probably doesn't matter. the heck? Okay, so this needs to turn this way to be able to tab into that guy. No, that one needs to turn the other way. Right? Right, okay. Somehow, this is going to become one big thing again. Ah, there it goes. Haha, haha. That is the problem when both ends rotate. You can totally get confused. But that's it for the cool beam fan. Now you say, Shoki, you said he had beam sabers. That's correct. He does. He's got a beam saber blade here, and he's got a beam saber blade here. But where are the beam sabers? I'm asking you guys. Do you know where the beam sabers are? Because I do. They're in the most annoying place possible. They're not in the shield. That would be convenient. No, they're tucked away in his wrist right here. That's really stupid. It's because the only real way that I can see to get them out is to do this number. Now, I don't know if those are ever supposed to completely come out. I would believe they are. Because here it goes. Finally, I will tell you guys right now, that is the first time I've ever removed that beam saber since building this thing. And I was correct, 3.0 hands. So you get one in each wrist. Now you can, of course, leave them installed and he can just impale people like that. Once again, you've probably witnessed him doing the splits and falling forward here. It's just a thing that happens, guys. He's not good with the concept of gravity. But that's it for his accessories. Let's go ahead and look at Articulation. Alright, so okay, let's all agree he can move. It's just not great. Okay, so shoulders. Let's just start with the shoulders. You can totally rotate the shoulders, but man, they are stiff. And ever so careful, because I don't want to run into a situation where anything wants to fall off. You've got bicep rotation. This time it's actually bicep rotation, not like the last time I used that term. You've got a nice double jointed elbow, bends down here, and then you get some really cool detailed piston action going on up here. Not to mention, decent bend. We've got wrist articulation. He can turn it inward and ball joints all around until it eventually will pop out. All of the fingers are massively articulated. Let me zoom in slightly here so you can see this. So I've got gold in between the knuckles and then silver wash on the hands. Honestly, I kind of like the look. It does make them look very beat up. And he does have the tab in there for holding weapons. Okay, so let's do the head. Since we're done with the arms. His head does rotate. It's a little bit limited, but he can rotate. He can look back a little bit and forward. What's really stupid is that's the cockpit right there. That's a little ball-shaped cockpit that Char sits in. And it doesn't really manipulate that well, realistically. You've got some waist movement here. I do believe he can rotate. Once again, these hips, man. It's annoying the crap out of me. I'm gonna look at him a little closer after we get down there. But I need good grip here. See if I can. I don't remember, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so he does have some good waist rotation. A little bit of an ab crunch right there. You got the cool kind of high mega beam right there. This little bit flaps open. You can see a little bit of chest right in there. This thing has a lot of detail that you can never see because it's all inside, guys. We've got skirts galore that can move, and this one never wants to collapse properly. Now, the very troublesome legs. Now, I think part of the problem is, yeah, so he can slide the hips totally forward like so. Maybe that will get him to stop falling over. He's leaning forward now, but that's okay. So let's get these giant legs. I mean, you can see it's one giant ball joint T-mount kind of hip. So you get a little bit of swivel like that. You gotta make sure it stays in the polycap. Now, I don't believe... No, he's got no thigh rotation right there. It's all coming out of that giant ball joint. So that's your forward movement. That can get, it can go a little bit further, but I'm not going to push it too far. Oh look, that whole hip swung backwards there. So let me push this back so we can get more back kick. Unfortunately, the rear giant ladybug butt there does not go anywhere. You can totally see some details under there. Get very, very, very big knee joint here. Now I love the fact you get this big black knee armor here, but it totally moves from right there, and inside you've got a nice little piston reveal. That is actually very, very cool. Like I said, the engineering on this kit is awesome. Now, depending on how you've got the armor out, because it does do much transforming, you get ginormous foot. He's got toe point all over the place. I can't remember. Yep, even the front of the actual toe totally points and does that number. I do believe he has a giant, yep, claw thingy for like gripping on. I think this over here also does that. If I can get it. Yep. Got some right there. That's pretty neat. Also painted details under the feet. Ankles. You got some nice pistons kind of right there. Oh, didn't even realize this. You got heel spur movement too. So big old ankle movement here. You can tilt the whole foot. I mean, it can really do some standing if it really wants to. So you got a big ball joint right there. Look at that. Look at that beastie. This is cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty cool foot. Really cool engineering. Once again, I will post that picture, hopefully, if I'd done it by now. One thing that sucks, this big split leg armor. Some of these things did not do well, honestly. Okay. So, what's going on here, guys? Good? Now look, he's lopsided. What is happening? Got one hip forward, one hip back. How did that happen? Okay, so slide that hip somewhere in there. And see, that one thing is the giant foot and leg armor tends to actually get in the way of each other, so you can't get his legs too close together. So that's pretty much it for articulation. This guy's awesome. Now, there were some accessories that I did not show off, and I just thought about it, and that's the cool funnel guys back here. Now I'm going to actually pull the backpack off to show you this, because that way I can get a closer look. Now you've got these pretty cool suitcases going on here, or as I described them as little V6, partial blocks. So it's pretty cool. But these things are neat. I added a little bit of gray, a little bit of silver, and this stupid thing just completely fell out. Wow. I mean, like from the inside out, just completely fell off. So what we want to do, hook a finger right in here, and you can totally hinge these open like so. Now, if I remember correctly, those should have pushed upward as I open those. So you get the cool molded silver funnel holders here. What I did is actually painted all the fins in there silver, and that just looks awesome. Now we'll go ahead and pull out one of the funnels. So you just get this little red tube of death. And you can just open up its little fins. Be very careful. Very, very tiny hinges. And I do believe that will push forward. Yep. So now you get a little satellite of death. These might open up a little bit more. I'm not going to push them, but it's pretty cool. I got a little bit of green paint right inside there, as you can see. The thruster area back here got some silver, some black, and all the nice little directions there. But just the engineering, they didn't have to make that slide forward like that. I mean, it's totally accurate, but they didn't have to do it. But now the impossibility is actually getting it to undo itself. Because I can't even fold these in while that's like that. So now you're depending on a very narrow piece of plastic to actually do its job properly. Because in theory, it should just push backwards, no problem. But because there's nowhere to grip it, you can just totally pull it out like that. That works too. Seriously, guy. Seriously. It's going to be like that. There we go. See, I don't mind doing some of these things on camera for you guys, so you can see some of the difficulties that may or may not befall you with certain kits. So now we close that up, all nice and neat. And of course, he controls these with his cool new type powers. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of dig these much better than like the new funnels, the big floppy funnels. I don't really dig those that much, honestly. But this storage device is so cool. Like, okay, see there, it actually tucked down. You actually heard it snap in place. I really do dig these. So I'm going to set these aside, and we're going to go ahead and look at his transformation. So I'm going to try to do this as best as I can from memory. I don't believe there's any kind of transformation here in the chest, except maybe that opens up a little bit. So we're going to start over here on the shoulders, because there's some fun stuff happening there. Go ahead and push the arm down and out of the way. Go ahead and push this. So you push where the thrusters were, and you rotate that, and there's some cool kind of automorph happening there. So now you've got the thrusters facing down. Pretty much the whole gimmick here is to reveal as much silver as possible. So we want to grab this part and slide it this way, and it'll just go plop, and flip open like so. I know I'm like really close to the camera, and he's wanting to stand tall for once. And then the other part, you want to take this, it does tend to hang up a little bit, and pull that outward. So now you've got all of that nicely exposed. You have this great silver, and I added some gold, and actually I painted this gray back in there. With both shoulders done, you can come down to the forearms. Now this one is, I would call optional. I don't really dig this one, but you got these little armor pieces. Well, they wanted to come out. And I don't even know how. So you got this little thruster, obviously, but everything was supposed to hinge with that instead of just coming off. So that was kind of stupid. Oop. So this is one of the few parts that I don't tend to mess with very often. Mostly because, well, this tends to happen. See, look, even this one doesn't want to do it. It just wants to come out. Yeah, so that's just not going to happen. Maybe those are just meant to pop off. I'm going to leave it alone for the time being and move on to other parts, because there's a whole lot of transformation gimmick to this guy. So come down to the front. I'm trying to remember. Oops, I didn't mean to pull that off. I thought maybe there was something down there, but let's go with things I definitely know. So we have this, which just slides open right here on the front skirt. Basically just, once again, showing off more silver. Seems to be the main gimmick here. Get the arm up and out of the way. We've got side skirts. I said out of the way arm. Move that back. So we've got the side skirts. They function very similarly to the way those do. So you rotate them downward, and this whole part hinges down and out, like so. Let's go to the giant butt skirt, because this one is fun. You more or less just kind of want to grab here, pull out, untab just a little bit right there, and then pull downward on the center mass, and all of that opens up. So you've got thrusters. This is a very cool piston system right here, and it also looks incredibly inappropriate, as I will display right here. Yeah, that's what that looks like. But there's some neat details in here, and we'll cover that in a second after we get through the legs, because the legs are probably one of the more challenging parts. on top of all the other challenging parts. So these side skirts kind of have to pop out just a little bit, like so. And I'm always wary of these because, once again, tiny plastic hinges. And you want to come up to this part, the dark red part, kind of untuck it from up here, and then you got to finagle it a little bit like so, revealing these massive thrusters and all of this amazing looking framework. Let's see if we can replicate that on this side, which I don't know, we might be able to. Tuck that away. The inside ones are actually very annoying, I'm not gonna lie. So it's got a nice double hinge right there. So that one actually got up and out of the way in a very nice manner. There we go. Got that one to do the same. And you guys can see underneath you've got some different reds. We're going to go ahead and pull this out. I will say that putting this thing back was actually very difficult. This has just enough flex in it to allow you to pull these thrusters out. And once again, we're going to look at these details in a second because we are not done. No, we're not. So we got to come to the front of the leg, and you can pull these guys down and open them up like so. God knows what this does. I think there's thrusters under there. I just assume that everything is hiding thrusters at this point. So pull that down on the slider without just yanking the knee out of place. Flip it up and flip that up. Yep, there's another thruster right up underneath there. It doesn't really stay in place, but it is what it is. You guys can see that. So basically what you're doing is revealing all of the yellow thrusters that this guy has. So you've got them underneath the front shins. You have thrusters all up underneath there. Same thing here. All of these guys up underneath there. And I'll show off some of the detail painting I did there. Some silver, some gold, all underneath. Now same thing right under there. What I would call some speakers hidden underneath. Even the giant ones on the side here, you got some silver and gold. I love the fact they give you at least this part totally in yellow. Come to the back here. Now I was very proud of when I painted these. They're incredibly rough now, but when they were brand new, I'll show off that picture right here. They look just really, really good. And you can see inside here all the great silver molded bits here, and then some gold added on. And once again, back here on the butt thrusters, all of this, you got the tiny little maneuvers there. This got painted black. Yeah, that's definitely paint. The silver shaft, so to speak, right there. You got some gold right there on the backs of the subwoofers. You've got gray. I painted that gray just like I did on the shoulders up there, so it actually was a different color. Because I think originally it was all molded in silver, if I'm correct. And I rarely am, so. Yeah, so in this mode, he's three times faster, I believe, is the joke. Except for the arms. The arms don't want to transform properly, so we're just going to forget about the arms. So he's got thrusters galore, and he's got green stuff probably shooting out. Green particles. Green particles, guys. It's all about the green particles. Let's see if I can get him to have an actual action pose of any kind, because pain in my butt. If I remember, he actually doesn't even bother with like weapons near the end. He's literally just fighting with funnels with Amuro. Go ahead and attach the backpack because that completes the look. Okay, so now we've got him finally in a pose. He's still lopsided, but you know, it is what it is at this point. I don't try. I'm not really gonna try too hard. Now I'm gonna scooch him back for a second so we can get another comparison. Stay. And there he is with his classic Zaku 2. Yeah, really big mobile suit, guys. Like this is just insane how large this thing is. I mean, it is clearly almost a half. It's like half a Zaku higher. You know, insanely powerful, you know, made to do everything that it does. But yeah, I'm not going to pull the new Gundam out to show off the difference, mostly because it's a pain to get that guy out of there, especially with all those funnels attached. But that's it, guys, for this Master Grade Monday/Tuesday. So, yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you really liked Sazabi. This thing is a hell of a kit, guys. Worth all the money. The plastic, the engineering is ridiculous. Just make sure you keep up with it. Don't let it get too stagnant. I'll say that about pretty much any kit. You let it sit for too long in one position, the plastic likes to get stagnant, gets a little bit brittle, doesn't want to move as easily. There's a few spots on this guy, up here on the shoulder specifically, that don't really want to move like they should, and it's a problem. And if you don't do like I did and accidentally paint in your visors and stuff, you can totally have the cool LED. But yeah. And as always, I need to go ahead and thank my patrons, SteelAngelJohn and Andy Tubbs. Thank you for your patronage, guys. And I will have another video for you guys specifically on Patreon this week. Another fun little video. If you haven't watched the last one, guys, go to the Patreon page and go watch that. And for anybody else wondering, yeah, there's Patreon only videos that are going to keep happening. So if you are at least a $5 level donator, then yeah, you will get to see those videos. If you can't see them yet, it might be because it hasn't been past the first of the month. We'll see what happens. But either way, the videos will be there for you guys. Now, I will tell you, this past Friday night, we did a new Shoki Nerdcast that I will be working on probably for the rest of this week. It is a very long one, guys. It is 4 hours long. But when you're talking a topic like 90s cartoons, it's pretty awesome. So we got Nick, we got Corey, and then from the YouTubes, the Crow-sama. If you guys don't know him already, you probably have seen him interacting on my live streams. But he's a really, really cool dude, and it was really fun getting to talk to him. And he will probably be showing up on more Nerdcasts in the future. So that's it, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Check out all the other Master Grade Mondays in the playlist. If you want to check out the Shoki Quickies that would normally be on today on Tuesday, there's plenty of playlists for those as well. And remember to stick around for tomorrow for this little dude, because you guys wanted me to paint him. I painted him, and it was a pain, and you guys will see why. But it's awesome. Remember, as always, guys, keep on building.